Oasis and ravaged the land of the Egyptians, killing the men and taking their wives and children captive. The alarm was soon carried to the city when they had heard the war cry. People came out at daybreak to find the skill of horsemen and foot soldiers with a gleam of armor. Then Zeus spread panic among my men, and they would no longer face the enemy, for they found themselves surrounded. The Egyptians killed many less and took the rest of the lives of the forced labor for them. Zeus, however, put in my mind to do thus. I wish I had died, and then there is Egypt instead, and dropped my spear from my hand. And then I went straight to the king's chariots, clasped his knees and kissed them, whereon he spared my life, obeyed me, get into his chariot, and took me weeping into his own home. Many made at me with their ashen spears and tried to kill me in their fury, but the king protected me. We feared the wrath of Zeus, the protector of strangers. They punished those who do evil. I stayed there for 7 years and got together much money among the Egyptians, for they all gave me something. That when it was now going on for 8 years, when came a certain Phoenician, a cunning rascal who had already committed all sorts of villainy, and this man talked me over into going into Phoenicia, where his house and his possessions lay. I stayed there for a whole 12 months, but at the end of the time, when days had gone by, till the same season had come round again, he sent on board a ship bound for Libya, on pretense that I was to take a cargo along with him to that place, but really that he might sell me as a slave and take money I fetched. I suspected his intention, but went on board with him, for I could not help it. The ship ran before a fresh northwind until we had reached the sea that lies between Crete and Libya. Therefore, however, Zeus counseled their discretion, for as soon as we were out from Crete and could see nothing but sea and sky, he raised a black cloud over our ship and sea grew dark beneath it. Then Zeus let fly the thunderbolts, and the ship went round and round and was filled with fire and brimstone as the lightning struck it. The men fell all into the sea, and they were carried about into the water around the ship, looking like so many seagulls, but the god presently deprived them of all chance of getting home again. I was all dismayed. Zeus, however, is in the ship's mast within my reach, which saved my life, for I clung to it and drifted before the fury of the gale. 9 days did I drift in the darkness of the 10th night, as the great wave bore on me the Thesprotian coast. There Theodon, king of the Thesprotians, entertained me a hospitality without charging me anything at all, for his son found me when I was nearly dead of cold and fatigue. Whereon he raised me by the hand, took me to the father's house, and gave me clothes to wear. There it was that I heard the news of Odyssey, for the king told me that he had entertained him and showed him much hospitality, where, while he was on his homeward journey, he showed me also the treasure of gold and wrought iron that Odysseus had got together. There was enough to keep his family for 10 generations, so much he had left in the house of King Theodon. But the king said Odysseus had come to Dodona, and that he might learn Zeus's mind from the gods by oak tree, and know whether he after so long as absence he should return to Ithaca, openly or in secret. Moreover, the king swore in my presence, making drink offerings in his own house, as he did to that shipless by waterside, and the ship crew found that should take him to his own country. He sent me off, however, before Odysseus returned, for there happened to be the Thesprotian ship sailing for the wheat-growing island of Molycium, where he told those in charge of her to be sure and take me safely to King Augustus. These men hatched a plot against me that would have reduced me to the very extreme of misery, for when the ship had got some way out from the land, they resolved on selling me as a slave. They stripped me of shirt and cloak that I was wearing, and gave instead tattered old clothes, in which you now see me. Then towards nightfall they reached the tilled lands of Ithaca, and they bound me with a strong rope fast in the ships, while they went on shore to get supper by the seaside. But the gods soon undid my bonds, and having drawn my rags over my head, I slid down with the rudder into the sea, where I strode out and swam till I was well clear of them, and came ashore near a thick wood, in which I lay concealed. They very angry at me, having escaped, and went searching about for me, till at last I thought it was no further use, and went back to their ship. The gods, having hidden me thus easily, then took me to a good man's door, for it seems that I am not to die yet a while. To this you answered, O swineherd, you may rest. For, unhappy stranger, I have found a story of your misfortunes extremely interesting, but that part about Odysseus is not right, and you will never get me to believe it. Why should a man like you go about telling lies in this way? I know all about the return of my master. The gods would know and detest him, or they would have taken him before Troy, or let him die with friends around him. In the days of his fighting were done, for the Achaeans have built a mound around his ashes, and his son would have been heir to his renown. But now the storm winds have spirited him away, we know not whither. As for me, I live out the way here with pigs, and never go to the town unless when Penelope sends for me on the arrival of some news about Odysseus. Well, then they sit round and ask questions of those who grieve over the king's absence, and those who rejoice at it because they can eat up his property without paying for it. For my own part, I have never cared about asking anyone else since the time when I was taken in by the Attalian, who had killed a man and come a long way till he had reached my station, and I was very kind to him. He said he had seen Odysseus with Idomeneus among the Cretans, refitting his ships and have damaged in a gale, and said Odysseus would return in following summer, or some of his men, and that he would bring back much wealth. And now you unfortunate old man, since fate has brought you to my door, and do not try to flatter me in this way with vain hopes, is not any such reason that I shall treat you kindly, but only out of respect for Zeus and the god of hospitality, as fearing him and pitying you. Odysseus answered, I see that you are an unbelieving mind. I have given you my oath, and yet you will not credit me. Let us then make a bargain, and call all the gods in heaven to witness if our master comes home, and give me a cloak and shirt of good wear, and send me to Delichium, where I want to go. That if he does not come, I will say, he will send more men unto me, and tell them to throw me from your yonder precipice, as a warning to tramps not to go about the country telling lies. And the pretty figure I should cut them, said, replied, do me us, both now and hereafter. If I were to kill you after receiving you into my hut, showing you hospitality, I should have to say my prayers in good earnest if I did but to supper time, and I hope my men will come in directly, and we may cook something savory for supper. Thus did the converse, and presently the swineherds came up from the pigs, which were shut up before the night, and the sights and the tremendous squealing they made as they were being driven into them. But Eumaeus called to his men and said, bring in the best figure you have, that I may sacrifice him for the stranger, and we will take all of him ourselves. We have trouble enough with this long time feeding pigs, while others reap the fruit of our labor. On this he began chopping firewood, while others brought in a fine fat 5-year-old boar pig, and set it on the altar. Eumaeus did not forget the gods, for he was a man of good principles, so the first thing he did was to cut a missile from a pig's face, and throw them into the fire, and told the gods he did so that Odysseus might return home, making a big love the paper of a billet of oak, where he had kept back when he was chopping the firewood, and sent it While others slaughtered and singed it. Then they cut it up, and Eumaeus began by putting raw pieces from each joint onto each of the fat that he sprinkled with barley meal, and later upon the embers they cut up the rest of the meat up so small, with the pieces upon the spits, roasted them till they were done. When they had taken them off the spits, they threw them onto the dresser, and the swineherd, who was the most equitable man, then stood up to reap everyone his share. He made 7 portions, one of each, be a part for Hermes, the son of Maya, and the nymphs, praying to them as he did, so others dealt out to them, and man by man he gave Odysseus some slices and cut half-ways down on the loin as mark of special honor. Odysseus was much pleased. I hope, Eumaeus, said he, that Zeus will be well pleased towards you as I am for the respect of your showing you to an outcast like myself. To this you answered, O swineherd Eumaeus, eat my good fellow, enjoy your supper such as it is. God grants this and withholds that just as he thinks all right, for he can do whatever he chooses. As he spoke, he cut off the first pieces and offered his burnt sacrifice to them, gods that he made a drink offering and put the cup in the hands of Odysseus and set him to his own portion. Mesolias arrived from their bread. The swineherd had brought the man on his own account from among the Tapians during the master's absence, and had paid for him from his own money without saying anything either to his mistress or Laertes, that they had laid their hands upon the good things they were before them, and when they had enough to eat and drink, Mesolias took away from left of the bread, and they all went to bed after having made a hearty supper. Now that night came on a stormy and very dark, for there was no moon. At quarter of that season the wind blew strong from the west, which was a wet quarter, so Odysseus thought he would see whether Eumaeus, in the excellent care he took him, would take off his own cloak and give it to him, or make one of his men leave him on. Listen to me, said Eumaeus, and the rest of you, when I set up there, I tell you something. It is false singing, and it will make him chuckle and dance, and say many a word that he better leave unspoken. Still, as I have begun, I will go on. Would that I were still young and strong, as when we had gotten an ambuscade before Troy. Menelaus and Odysseus were the leaders, but I in command also, for the other two would have it so. When we had got to the wall of the city, we crashed down beneath our armor and lay under cover of the reeds and thick brushwood and grew about the swamp. It came on to freeze when with the wind blowing. The snow fell small and fine like hoar frost, and shields were coated with the thick rime. Others also got cloaks and shirts and slept comfortably enough with their shields about their shoulders. But I carelessly left my cloak behind me, not thinking that I should be too cold, and have gone off in nothing but my shirt and shield. When the night was 2/3 through, the stars had shifted their places. I nudged Odysseus, who was close to me, with my elbow, and at once he gave me his ear. Odysseus, said I, this cold will be the death of me, for I have no cloak. Some god fooled me into setting off with nothing but my shirt, and I do not know what to do. Odysseus, who was as crafty as he was valiant, hit upon the following plan. Keep still, said he in a low voice, or the others will hear you. Then he raised his head on his elbow. My friends, said he, I've had a drink from the heaven in my sleep. We are a long way from the ships, and I will someone go down and tell Agamemnon to send us more men at once. On this, Boaz, the son of Adramon, threw his cloak and set off running to the ships, whereon I took the cloak and lay on comfortably enough till morning. Would that I were still young and strong I was in those days, for then some one of the swineherds would give me a cloak both out of goodwill and for the respect due to a brave soldier. But now people look down upon me because my clothes are shabby. And Eumaeus answered, O man, you have told us an excellent story and have said nothing so far, but is quite satisfactory for the present. Therefore you shall want neither clothing nor anything else that a stranger in may reasonably expect. But tomorrow morning you have to shed your own rags about your body, and for we have many spare cloaks nor shirts up here, but every man has only one. When Odysseus' son comes home again, he will give you both cloak and shirt and send you wherever you may want to go. Odyssey got up and made a bed for Odysseus and made throwing some goat skins and sheep skins on the ground in front of the fire, where here Odysseus lay down, and Eumaeus covered him over with his great heavy cloak that he kept for a change in the case of extraordinary bad weather. Thus did Odysseus sleep, and the young men slept beside him, but the swineherd did not like sleeping away from his face, so he got ready to go outside, and Odysseus was glad to see that he was looked after his property during his master's absence. First he slung his sword over his brawny shoulders and put on a thick cloak to keep it out the wind. He also took the skin of a large well-fed goat and javelin in case of attack from men or dogs. Thus equipped he went to his rest, where the pigs were camping under an overhanging rock. They gave them shelter from the north wind.